All right, guys, are you ready to start?
Yeah.
Another drink? That's a good thing. That's the guys I know.
We're almost out of the trick shot. This is an emergency situation.
I'm on it.
All right.
All right, so without further, what's the word? I don't know. Yeah, thank you.
You forgot the French.
So yeah, I'm not gonna introduce them. They have an intro slide and Johnny Xmas and damn it, I'm sorry about that. Chris Cardis.
I'm also here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Oh, come on.
Hey, yeah,
Please.
come on. Also here. Hey. All right. Look, it's a title slide. Now it's fucking gone. Intros. Oh shit.
How about this? How about this theme? First
Yeah.
off, Chris did this like this morning.
Yeah. I spent hard-working minutes making these slides look slightly different.
Yeah.
So you
Should I
better
go
appreciate it. Look, and we're like positioned in the right place.
Yeah.
Last time, I had to fucking run across the stage.
Yeah. Should we do the whole talk like this?
Yeah.
Just facing.
Just because you don't know what the slides say?
That's me.
You can
Yeah.
stand further back. I'll tilt this towards you.
Oh yeah, you have your privacy screen on here, so I gotta be.
Yeah,
like-
no, you got to get close.
Oh, we're doing the AI
That's
one.
too close.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So I'm Johnny Christmas. I'm who's. Let's do this. Who's the first year at Hackfest this year? Oh my
Awesome.
God.
And you still came to this talk.
And you came to this? Yeah. Wow, cool. Who has seen either of us speak at Hackfest before? Wait, a lot of you are also first-timers.
What the hell? In the hallway doesn't count.
Oh, yeah, cool. So this is my fifth, I'm going to say fifth. It's fifth or sixth time. I think fifth time speaking, if we count the
I
pandemic
don't know why
one.
you're looking at me. I don't keep track of what you do.
Nope. Where's
I've
Kendra?
spoken with, this is the second time you and I, and once without you. That's
Yeah.
third time for me.
Yeah, so this is our second time speaking together. This is like my fifth time speaking at Hackfest Canada. I freaking love this place. We're both from Chicago, hence the accents. And we come all the way up here. 'Cause Patrick invited me once, like 6 years ago, and I just didn't stop coming, and he doesn't know how to ask me to knock it off.
It's too polite.
I keep hacking my way into the schedule. So yeah, it's Johnny Christmas. I am the director of training at Grim, where I also do a lot of security research and just hack on crap when I'm not putting together our robust training program. 15-second Grim pitch. We do a lot of ICS and transportation security. We do a lot of ICS training. If you're interested in bringing training of ICS and embedded systems into your organization, that's like our specialty. We come to you. We bring lots of hands-on crap. It's fun stuff. You get to have me doing this for like a full week inside your office and bringing cool crap to hack on. So
It's a bit much.
it's 40 hours of this. Yeah, and that's I guess I put that. I have 3 legal names. That's it's a fun fact. Yeah, I don't know. I've been hacking since I was a little kid, and I've been working in the industry since like since like 2011. So I've done practically everything there is to do in the information security realm, from like defensive engineering to research to IT and OT, and you name it, I've done it. And I don't know. That's now I'm here. Now I'm doing this.
All right.
What do you do?
All right, I'm Chris Carlis. I have a small pen testing firm called Dolos Group, where we do horrible shit to you for money in order to help.
Like crime.
Yeah, pretty much. It's fake, like it's crime, but I got a piece of paper that says it's okay. Penetration tester. Unlike Johnny, I started around the same time in security as Johnny, and unlike him, I found the groove of penetration testing. I'm like, this is the shit. Like, this is the coolest fucking job. This is fighter pilot bullshit of InfoSec.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I kind of grew out of it and moved to management. Fucking no.
I thought it was so boring. You're just doing the same thing to every poor person ever.
Yeah, no,
the upside to you is you work, at least at one of your places, your internal red team. So like
Right,
you
yeah.
have to constantly innovate and come up with new shit all the time.
True. So I
For
also
me-
have a job working internal red team at a large organization. And I mention that because I'm going to talk a little bit in this talk about horrible shit I did to them that is relevant to this talk. Oh yeah, and I'm a real human boy. How about that? Check it out.
Self-certified though. So
All right, that killed a half hour.
It's probably the shortest intro slide I've ever done.
Disclaimer, we debated whether or not we needed one of these.
It's important, though.
Yeah.
And so please read the fine print. This is critical. We're going to be talking about how to do a lot of AI stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Try this at home.
Yeah.
Horrible shit, hilarious shit. Do it at work. Do not ask permission first. They will tell you no.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And if like somebody calls you out, be like, Johnny and Chris said it was fine.
Yeah. Do not run it past legal. They don't want to hear this shit.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
In fact, I did run it past legal, which is why some of the stuff in our slides isn't as awesome as I wanted it to be, because they're like, you can't have somebody else without their permission doing this.
You can't use the entirety of someone's likeness.
Yeah.
Telling an audience something.
What? Am I too loud?
Sorry to interrupt. I
Yeah.
really have to forgive myself. You have to forgive me. So my intro sucked. So I'm just gonna give you the rest of the bottle.
Oh,
All right.
that's what we need, more alcohol.
Yeah. If you guys haven't tried the Chick Chock here, if you're from out of town,
Thank you, sir.
thumbs up.
Yeah, so
So do this.
in reality, know your own risk level. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And also feel free, like absolutely take pictures of slides, take pictures of us, tag us on the social medias,
Yeah.
the social meds.
At the end of the talk, there's a slide that has links and references to a whole bunch of shit that we'll talk about. But,
Yeah. And talk to us later.
yeah. So, like, artificial intelligence, what a goddamn nightmare this shit's gonna be. I mean, just straight up. I know, like, a lot of business people and a lot of places like, oh, what can it do for us? How can it make our shit better? But as someone who makes people's lives worse, I look at it, I'm like, that's a powerful tool for just fucking up someone's day. How can I use that?
Yeah.
So during this talk, we're going to talk a bit about the different ways we've seen AI being used in an offensive capacity, not necessarily ways that AI has been like itself used to attack something, but used to enhance other attacks. Stuff that's already out there, nothing critical or brand new, but just bring it together. We're going to talk about essentially text or code AI stuff a little bit.
It's a state of the union of AI going on the offensive.
Yeah. We'll go and we'll reference audio AI, and then we'll go to video, and then we'll talk about what you can do. And spoiler alert for that, not really anything. We don't have a fucking solution.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah.
We're not selling
then
anything.
we're gonna all these talks are always like, and then we're gonna tell you what you can do about it. And just heads up, we're not.
No.
Because we kind of are, but we'll get to it. You'll see.
We learned this shit. We were amused and a little freaked out, and we want you to also be a little amused and freaked out. We do not have a fix for the stuff that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. This is one of those few cases like fear, uncertainty, and doubt is the right place to be. That's where we're at currently. That is the state of the union.
Okay.
All right. So first, we're going to start with fear.
Horrible shit that's been happening.
You can't go a day, it seems. It used to be, you can't go a day without hearing about a breach somewhere, seeing some shit like that. And now lately, it's like, you can't go a day without seeing stuff like this coming up in the news. And granted, most of it that we're seeing in the news is hitting individuals. It's scammers using it. It's, this sort of thing. It's targeting individuals. What's nuts to me is we've seen scams, telephone scams, email scams going around since the telephone was invented.
Yeah.
And a lot of those scams are usually like slow boat scams. They're usually targeting elderly people and trying to get their retirement money out of them. And it's usually like a long con to get that money out of them. Right. Or they're trying to get very small amounts of money out of them. For whatever reason, what I'm noticing with these AI attacks that are coming out against the general public is they're getting huge amounts. They're getting, granted maybe 5 figures isn't worth what it used to be, but they're getting, 5 figures plus out of these people just by pretending to be family members to the most extreme extent possible by way of cloning their family members' voice, face, and presenting it to these people and saying, hey, I need $21,000. I need, do we have the dude who killed the diplomat in here? I think I put that in later, maybe.
Maybe, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody who called up and said, "Oh, your son's in prison because he murdered a diplomat while drunk driving." And it's like, that's a real specific scenario to throw at some unsuspecting person. Like, usually a scammer picks like plausible things like, "Oh, he was involved in an altercation and we can't speak about it, but we need $5,000. And these people are like, "You need $85,000, your kid's in prison, he murdered a diplomat." And the woman was like, "That's his voice, it's him, oh my God, here's your money."
So, I mean, we started putting together this talk months ago, and like on a daily fucking basis, as you start researching like what's happening, it is impossible. Like this morning there was AI news. I'm like, should we add this to the fucking slide deck?
Yeah.
It is not. Part of it's just like it's news now, so you're going to see more news about it, and I'm looking for it, so I see it more. But like anecdotally, huge fucking upswing.
I'm not looking for it. This shit just comes up in my like security feeds. Like I said, it comes up on all of your security feeds. We ran into a problem where like Chris and I generally communicate over Signal, and I set all my Signal chats by default to just delete after a week because privacy and security. And I was just flooding him with all of these stories of AI being used maliciously, and by default you're like, cool, they're in the Signal chat. I'll go get them when I put the talk together. And like we lost all of them, and it didn't matter because you just sit there and wait. And it's like, oh, we'll just go back to like there should just be an RSS feed that's just AI scams now. Yeah. That's how bad this shit is.
So AI, I think it definitely has passed or is approaching that watershed moment where like oh fuck, it's about to happen. Like,
yeah,
it is scary shit.
Let's all remember that 1 year ago, like Hackfest last year, none of this existed, right? I mean, it was in its infancy. Like nobody was using ChatGPT to fucking write tweets. Like it wasn't even like generally like it was kind of publicly available. It was like version 2 last year, and nobody was really screwing with it because it sucked. Like yeah. 1 year ago, there were zero talks about AI at any con. And well, there were, and they were vendor. They were vendor talks about using.
Oh right, machine learning and AI.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's fine.
And now it's been crazy this year to be like, oh, when a vendor says they're using AI, they're probably using AI now. Yeah. Do we ever think we'd see that day when we had to shut up about the AI joke? So like that's how fast it has moved already. That's how fast it's going to accelerate how fast it's moving. With how much NVIDIA and Microsoft are investing into making the existing shit better, faster, how much more training we're putting into this. This is, what's the technological advancement law, with Moore's Law? We are like at the infancy of Moore's Law again with AI, where it's going to be increasing its capability exponentially, extremely quickly. And we know that as evidenced by what we've seen just take the past 9 months and what we've seen out of this. It's absolutely insane. And so here's where we are just like 9 months into this stuff being handed over to the public.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. Fingers crossed. All right, let's get into some of the stuff. Talk first about like using AI attacks with as far as like the text and the code kind of shit. Just we've seen shit like this. It's actually an old fucking tweet. Look at this shit. This is ancient.
22, yeah. Well, not ancient, about a year ago.
All right, yeah.
Less than a year ago.
I'm sure everything's gotten better. Yeah, just say, hey, ChatGPT, make me a buffer overflow. There's been plenty of stuff out there like this. People keep coming up with new ways of tricking AIs that have guardrails into not having guardrails.
Yeah, and so we should talk about guardrails. So for those who, one question. Who uses ChatGPT weekly? Who uses ChatGPT for work? Cool. That's a solid amount. Good. Right. Good. You should.
Or not, depending on your corporate policy.
You shouldn't be putting your fucking corporate IP into ChatGPT if you're using the public instance. But there's the public ChatGPT and several other AIs that are out there, and they have what's called guardrails on them, which is things that have been programmed into them to stop them when they detect that they're being asked to do certain things that we've asked them politely to not do. Like if you go into ChatGPT and say, how do I make how do I
make a bomb?
Make a bomb. How do I
Is this being recorded?
Yeah. If
That'll
you
be the sound clip that gets pulled
You
out. How
just,
do I
like,
make a bomb?
go through the like anarchist cookbook and ask ChatGPT, how do we make all these things? It's going to be like, nope, sorry, bye.
Yeah.
It'll cut you off a lot with like political opinions. Like, it looks like you're getting a little, like you're judging people based on their political beliefs. Maybe we shouldn't do that if you try to get it to write like politically heated stuff. So it has guardrails in it. But that's the public offering. There's plenty of offerings, not just code, but large language models you can run locally, quickly, on a single last-gen mid-range GPU with the guardrails removed. So just because you go like, oh, well, ChatGPT won't actually help you make a bomb, well, the one on the website won't. The one Ted Kaczynski Jr. is running in his basement absolutely will.
So that's a bit scary. Where I also think we're going to see a lot more, and we're probably already seeing this, and they're just not making it to me, is using things like ChatGPT to generate phishing emails, especially for non-native speakers, to sound better, faster. You can ask it like, hey, make me this many email texts, vary them in a certain way, and that previous text would have grammar mistakes or spelling issues. Sometimes it's on purpose. Now it can just be done. In fact, talking about that, some of the attacks.
Weird.
Weird. Like I knew what was coming up next. This is just a reference to a quick white paper made by Snowfensive. They do a lot of social engineering testing. OSINT, calling people, email phishing, testing. And they've written a white paper and basically using AI to generate phishing emails. If someone's written a white paper for it already, that means that it's already out there for horrible people to use against your organization.
Yeah, and let's really focus on what's going on here, especially for those who have not really had a ton of experience using things like ChatGPT. We're not just asking it to write an email where you say like, oh, please write me an email that informs a bunch of employees that we are changing their benefits package and they'll no longer have family medical insurance. It's a great phishing email, right? It's going to freak a lot of people out. They're definitely going to click. What we're asking ChatGPT to do is write a phishing email. Write it in a manner that's going to elicit the most people to make knee-jerk reactions to click on stuff because it knows what you mean by phishing email versus corporate message versus fun tweets. Like it can differentiate all these things, and so you can ask it to do specifically malicious things. And so it's going to write something that's like super gaslighty or manipulative when you say, hey, phishing emails. So like this is not just writing emails, it's writing malicious emails intentionally, and it knows how to do that and knows how to differentiate that from other types of emails you might ask it to write.
Yeah. So one of the most common ways of attacking your organization is going to get, if not already, a whole lot fucking worse because of AI.
Yeah. What's the number one way you detect a phishing email? You read it and you go, this person does not speak the language that I speak, right? Clearly the person who wrote this, my language is not their first language. That's the easiest ones to detect. Now this thing is like adept.
Right.
And you could say, write a phishing email that sounds like it came from our human resources department regarding, and then give it stuff like that. Yeah. So you can take about 4 hours of YouTube videos on writing AI prompts, and you will be a god at this.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to phish a whole bunch of people, which we recommend, phishing people in your organization as part of a test. But so like another way that oftentimes these phishing emails, like one will get reported, and then like, all right, this email with this text, like let's say is going to be blocked, but it doesn't need to be the same email anymore. They all can be different. They can all be substantially different.
Yeah. You can say, write me a follow-up to that last email that you wrote about this.
So, good times. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got.
This absolutely complies with like any security testing policy, right? Like phishing is a core part of every security awareness program. So
yeah. So I mean, in general,
go nuts.
We were serious about mentioning like you should use the AI attacks that we're talking about and we will be talking about in this presentation against your organization. I was not kidding.
Yeah.
Like some of them you probably want to do before you ask permission. We've done this, and The impact that you can get out of it is substantial. Using generative text AI for generating phishing text for your own internal phishing campaigns, or potentially things like, let's flesh out this tabletop a bit more. And some of the other stuff later, also good for tabletops, I think. Yeah. If it's not against your corporate policy. And if you don't have a corporate policy regarding AI, you'll get one in a fucking hurry once you start doing this shit that we're going to tell you to do, because someone's going to be like, oh, that's not even against policy, much less rules or some shit like that. So, yeah, feel free to just sign up for some shit and make some stuff happen, and changes and possibly budget will follow, or you'll find a new job. I don't know.
You got fired? Oh, wow, why'd you get fired from your last job? Oh, I wrote a devastating phishing program.
Yeah,
that,
come back to Hackfest. Someone will hire you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right, now we're getting to the stuff people care about. Everybody knows ChatGPT.
This is what, so AI audio technology, and this started when I was driving somewhere with Johnny, and he's like, hey, listen to this voicemail. On his phone, he played it, and it was him talking about crashing his goddamn drone. I'm like, you suck at drones. What?
Well, no, it was that I'm an FAA licensed small unarmed aerial systems pilot, and so that weekend we were supposed to, me and several other people were supposed to go take our pilot's exam, which was real important because we had a commercial gig coming up that required commercial pilot licenses, and it was very important. And a friend of mine had used the auto AI and trained it on my podcast. Trained it on me speaking on my podcast, and then made a voicemail of me saying like, I wrecked my drone, everything sucks, I'm like getting 40% on the...
It sounded better than that.
It said, hey guys, I'm like, I don't know, I wrecked my drone last night, and like, I've been taking the practice exams, and I'm getting like 40% on these things, and it sucks, and there's no way I'm gonna pass the exam, and I'm just not into it, and I don't know, I need some time. I'm gonna sit it out, and maybe I'll take it in like 2 weeks, but you guys go ahead. And I don't know, I'll catch up with you Monday. And that's exactly what this voicemail sounded like. And it spoke, that's I think the key differentiator I think a lot of people don't understand about audio AI is it's not just like, oh, it takes someone's voice and then you can make their voice say things. It takes their manner of speaking and makes them say things. So my friend sent me this voicemail of me, and I'm listening to this and I go, well, I guess I'm not taking the exam. Like, that's me. And that's why I go to Chris, I'm like, listen to this. That's me, you know? You know, when everybody's had somebody be like, hey, that person looks like you, right? And you're like, no. What are you talking about? Because you know what you look like. I heard this voice, and I said, that's me. Yes, I must have said that. I knew I didn't, but I was like, shit. Yeah. That's what's going on here. You can fool the person whose voice you stole.
We heard this. I heard it, you heard it, and kind of like, obviously we're like, holy shit, and we started looking more. And yeah, straight up, actual, factual fucking crime, stealing money, using AI voice cloning. I think that was in Germany or something. That's no excuse.
Yeah. This is Hollywood shit here. This is real. So like when a lot of actors, especially voice actors, like part of your contract is like, hey, we get to use your voice for like other stuff, and everybody has signed that because it's like, well, the only voice of mine they can use is the stuff I already said that I recorded for them and agreed to let them use, and yeah, that's all fine. But the reality now is that per those same contracts, it's like, no, you said in the contract we can use your voice. And now we have, and you only need about 5 minutes.
You can do it like as little as 30 seconds. It depends on the quality. We'll talk a little bit about that.
30 seconds to 5 minutes of someone's voice, you're all set. All set. And so now we go, all right, thanks, voice actors. We got everything we need. I only have to pay you for 5 minutes. Please leave. And then I can make 20 cartoons using your voice. And that's actually happening.
Yeah. So, after I heard Johnny's fake voice, I asked our friend who actually did this, I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, oh, I use this website. I'm not going to name names. And I'm like, oh, well, how expensive was it? And he's like, it's a goddamn $1. It's $1 for the first month.
It's $1. And what's the next month?
It goes up to $5.
It's $5.
$5.
To be fair, that's USD.
Yes. All right, yeah, all right.
So, you know.
Do the conversions.
$5 real dollars.
So I immediately
Freedom dollars.
I immediately went to the website and made my own account, and just started screwing around. And so what I did with this, I mentioned I work for like a large financial. I went online on publicly available sources, and I found an interview that my CISO had done, who's only like a number of levels above me, and I stole his voice, and I put it into this website. And yeah, there's a checkbox that says, do you have permission? But it's a box, not a cop. So I checked it. Nothing happened. And I cloned his voice. And my thought was like, I'm going to make this guy say like, all your requests are approved for travel and bullshit like that.
Can I get a T-shirt that says it's a box, not a cop? That's a sticker if I ever heard one.
So I cloned his voice, and then I'm like, no, let's take this further. I cloned his voice. I cloned the chief legal officer's voice. I cloned like a former CEO's voice. And then I made a PowerPoint and had them do a 5-minute phone call talking about this shit. Like, here's like the up and coming problem. And then this is over like a couple hours on a weekend. And then I just sent it to my boss with like zero reference as to what the hell I'm doing. Like, hey, listen to this. And he's like, I'm not clicking some random ass file you sent me. I'm like, just fucking listen to it. And like 3 minutes into the 5-minute thing, he's like, is this all just fucking AI? I'm like, yes. Yeah. Now it's your problem. So I like that, like I said, like did not ask permission, just did it. And like I want to say a week later, we had an AI policy.
A corporate policy at a major financial
big
institution.
Fucking company, yeah. But it's not a magic website button box bullshit.
It's not far from it.
It's close. You still need to do like if you just like, hey, let's do it and like, haha, check this out. But if you want something to sound good, you still got to put a little bit of work into it. And in this example, what I did was I recorded basically the same audio. And the theoretical attack here is, let's say you have a CFO and people who work in accounts payable, and they get a voicemail first thing when they come in, and it's from the CFO, and it says, hey, I'm traveling. You're going to see an invoice come in through your email. I need you to pay it right away, but I'm going to be on a flight, so I can't contact you. And sure enough, they have an invoice in their email, and the boss just said, pay this immediately.
And that's side channel confirmation.
Yeah.
That is, I didn't just get the email that says, oh, hey, please pay me some money.
Yeah.
I got a call, I got a voicemail from a dude whose voice, like it's definitely my CFO, who said, hey, you're going to get a voicemail.
Is this
That's
person?
two confirmations. I'm like, okay, cool, this is actually legit.
Right.
And he called because he knows that this is a weird situation. Like, you should never get an email asking this, but hey, just a heads up, this is a weird situation. It's an emergency. Please pay that invoice.
Yeah. So first example, I just basically, I trained the AI quickly on my voice, and I gave it some text to read. But without tweaking anything, it sounds kind of monotone-ish.
Hey, this is Chris. I have a family emergency, and I'm at the airport. I'm going to be unavailable for most of the day, but I need you to handle something immediately. In your inbox, there is an invoice for Geneva Insurance Group. I need you to process it right away. Everything is approved, and I can handle any questions when I get back. But we need that invoice paid before 10 a.m. today. Thanks.
This sounds a little off, right?
I wouldn't
weird,
believe
but
it.
like, yeah, this is what he sounds like on the phone. That's it's audio, but it's.
So if we tweak the variability settings like available in the app, or like running the open source tool that this fucking app is running, like on your own system, you can tweak it all the fuck you want. It sounds a bit different.
Hey, this is Chris. I have a family emergency and I'm at the airport. I'm going to be unavailable for most of the day, but I need you to handle something immediately.
Dealing with an emergency, he's frantic.
In your inbox,
a little bit of
there's
variability.
an invoice for Geneva Insurance Group. I need you to process it right away. Everything is approved and I can handle any questions when I get back, but we need that invoice paid before 10 a.m. today. Thanks.
And you heard this stuff. That, right? The AI put that in.
So what if we do a little bit more work? And I had to add this next part in myself, but like cutting it up a little bit, adding maybe a little bit of background noises.
Hey, this is Chris. I have a family
Sounds like an
emergency,
airport.
and so I am at the airport. Listen, I'm going to be unavailable for most of the day, but I need you to handle something immediately. One second. Right, so in your inbox, there is an invoice for Geneva Insurance Group. I need you to process it
Real
right away.
MVP.
Everything is approved, and I can handle any questions when I get back. But we need that invoice paid before 10 a.m. today. Okay, thanks.
Was not hard, did not take long, is going to get even easier to do that level of shit.
Yeah. How many? Let's do days. How many days did that take of rendering, like, to get that?
Like, no, let's talk minutes.
Yeah.
With using all free tools, the airport sounds is literally just, I searched YouTube for airport noises and pulled some of that shit off.
Yeah.
The paper rustling, literally me rustling papers into the microphone.
Yeah.
It's simple stuff. So, try it at home.
Fool your friends, as they say.
It'll get people talking. Executives will like it. Legal won't like it.
Yeah.
Things will happen. You get like one solid shot at that. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up what we had for
Yeah.
audio stuff. We'll talk about.
I think we really drove that point home, right?
Halloween.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, we got some time. Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's cool.
Oh shit! Video's next.
Yeah.
Okay. So, video stuff, it's a bit trickier. It's a bit of a heavier lift.
But not that heavy.
No. All right.
So, this, everybody familiar with the Zelensky deepfake? Show of hands. No. All right, kind of slim. Cool. Okay, let's cover it real quick. So, really early on in the Ukrainian war, Russia put out a deepfake of Zelensky telling Ukrainians to stand down, that it's better and safer if everyone just lays back and lets it happen. We're going to give the land back to Russia. We're doing it in the interest of saving lives and freedom, et cetera, et cetera. It's what's best. Please just let the Russians do what they need to do, and they'll be out of our hair real quick. That was the gist of this video Russia put out and sent to like every news station on the planet. It was not great. Do I have the video?
Yeah, the video's up next.
We'll play it in a little bit. But this was like 2 years ago, 1 year ago.
Yeah.
So it's coming up on about 2 years ago. Yeah, so that was a thing, and like that was before there was like easy, freely available deepfake tools, and that was Russia as a nation state using its abilities to cobble together a really solid deepfake video. So we started with like, well, who's doing this? Who has the resources to be able to pull this off? Nation states. What is
I'm
this
sorry, I'll
here?
go back to the other one.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, we'll just take a look at real quick. We've also seen, obviously, like we didn't have it up there, but making essentially unauthorized pornography. Of
Oh,
people
yeah, I didn't
is
even
is a huge fucking deepfake problem.
I think we can all assume that that's
so much, like.
That's where it really started. That's where like the problem with deepfakes really started. I think that's where the term deepfake really entered the public lexicon, is deepfake pornography.
Yeah.
And it was holy fuck, someone taking your face and plausibly injecting it into a sexual situation. Yeah. And this had been going on long before the Zelensky video. And then every like website under the sun banned this shit and said absolutely fucking not. And that's when you really started to see guardrails being put onto the open source AI. So you could go to GitHub, grab the machine that grab the AI code and run it, and that code right out of GitHub already had guardrails in it. And they were not easily documented and pointed out so you could remove them. They were buried in there. And that really, for a while, really killed, that combined with how difficult it was to use in the first place, really killed deepfake pornography for several years. It's back with the absolute worst kind of vengeance now.
Oh, fuck.
But,
I mean, there used to be like a lot of celebrities, I think.
yeah, it's,
We're seeing a definite uptick in creating pornography where it's the face of underage individuals, not their bodies, but
Right.
like
Yeah.
What the fuck do we do with this now?
I
'Cause-
didn't even want to bring it up in
yeah,
this
no.
talk.
All right. Sorry. All right. Just to bring everybody fucking down for a minute.
On that note, though, there was a really big deepfake, easy to use deepfake tool that was being used around the scenes in a lot of different instances, non-pornographically, where the maintainer shut the repo down.
It's true.
Because one of the other maintainers had posted an example video that used like a meme face of an underage person that would show up in a lot of child pornography. Didn't show any porn, but was like, look, so you can like de-age people, and intentionally like used like this 4chan meme child porn face, and like the owner was like, nope, fuck it, I'm out, and shut the whole repo down and just canceled the entire project. It's a reality.
Super easy to remove stuff from the internet. That'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's watch Zelensky get deepfaked here.
Українці, шановні захисники, бути
I'll
президентом
talk over this because it's in Ukrainian anyway.
Не так
So
вже
a lot of like mostly the world kind of laughed at this because it was real obvious that it was fake. Like one, they were like, Zelensky would never say any of this shit. Two, it's clearly an actor's body who's just like sitting very static and very still. So like only the head is moving, which is weird. And it doesn't quite fit on the neck, right? And it's like it's not on the body properly, and people are like, this is clearly a deep fake.
я приймаю
It's cool though, like you watch his lips, you can be like, oh god, like it looks like the lips are modified. On this on the same
раджу скласти зброю
topic,
і повернутися
this is pretty damn
до
good
своїх сімей.
because his lips are matching the
Цій
words,
війні
but Zelensky never said these words. Yet there's his lips moving to
я
words
збираюся робити.
that they had a Zelensky impersonator speak. So they didn't use voice AI on that. They had somebody who sounds like him do it. And everybody's like, this is a deep fake. And then we're like, but holy shit, Russia's making deep fakes. Like this is the next stage of like cyber warfare. Also, the other side of it was a nation state can only do so good. Like this is a nation state with effectively unlimited resources, and like this is the best they can do. Okay, this is not something we need to worry about. And that was only 2 years ago.
Against like these types of attacks against an organization, maybe like your organization, I don't think we're necessarily going to see so much like someone being like, oh, I'll put out, or not sending a video saying like, hey, I'm your boss, send money to this account. But we will probably see things like reputation attacks.
Yeah. This is a huge deal. I think this might not be so obvious for our Canadian pals. Dr. Fauci was what the fuck was his title? He's the head doctor. So he was
our head doctor. Yeah.
He was the head medical dude in our government during the pandemic who was like setting all the rules and stuff like you got to get vaccinated. He's the pro-vaccination guy, right? And so Trump was the anti-vaccination guy. And all the Trump people hated anybody who got vaccinated. We all know about the Trump dichotomy. So like to have these photos leak of like Trump like giving Fauci a big hug and a kiss behind the scenes, like, oh, they're actually friends, and it's a whole like this was nuts, and it was fake, but it elicited like riots just from a freaking picture.
Even the news reporting this is a fake image.
The news reporting.
They're not going to fucking
not
read.
Sure.
They're just going to see the image.
Yeah. Well, in the news, I mean, look at the Chiron. It's like, did this happen? Not like, hey, this is fake. It's, we're not sure. That's messed up. This is
fucking
great.
running
I think
into
everybody's seen the Trump running from cops AI generated. This is just a great time.
But I mean, against an organization that like. To come out and like, all right, here's like, it looks like the CEO is doing a quick press briefing, announcing something good, something bad, something that's going to move your stock price, like somewhat, maybe enough for someone to make some money before your company comes out and says, fucking deepfake people.
Yeah, or short sell your stock.
Yeah, I'm not saying your CEO is going to do that himself.
Like who here screws around with stocks just on the side for fun? Robinhood, whatever. Yeah, like that the whole stock market is just emotionally based, right? Like you can watch one news article come out. What was I looking at last night where I was like, what the fuck happened to NVIDIA?
NVIDIA was
So last night, NVIDIA's stock kind of tanked a little bit.
Are we manipulating NVIDIA's stock right now, telling people? All right.
So I was like, what the hell happened? And I looked and I'm like, it's NVIDIA. Why did NVIDIA tank? What's going on? And I got real nervous because we're doing this AI talk and NVIDIA makes, the predominant GPUs used for AI. And it was like, they had an AI summit that they were going to host in Tel Aviv, and they pulled out. They canceled it for like super fucking obvious reasons, right? Like they pulled out because people are being murdered there, and maybe not the best time to host a summit in the middle of the murder. It seems reasonable, but like because AI pulled out, I guess some people don't have news, but they do stocks, and they're like, oh my God, NVIDIA canceled an AI summit. Shit must be bad there, and they all started selling their stocks. Like it's that easy to like wreck a stock price with just like all they had to do was not read the news, and they wrecked the stock price.
Right.
Imagine if a photo comes out, a statement from your CEO, of an audio statement. He was on this radio news network and he said this crap about the company, about how things aren't doing too well. Yeah. Or a video of the CEO, like, I don't know what we're going to do here. Like, we've been trying to hide it for a while, but we're coming up against the wall and things aren't looking good. And what happens if somebody who wants to short sell that stock puts this video out? And then a bunch of the stock plummets, and then that person buys a ton of it at a cheap price, and then when it comes out that the whole video was fake and the stock price comes back up, then that person sells all that stock they bought at a massive profit.
Yeah. So I mean, in your organization,
don't do that one.
Right? No.
Don't do that one. That's called securities fraud.
Are you calling dibs or something?
That's dibs. Yeah. You know what? Maybe it's. I don't know what your laws are here.
All right. So potentially in your organization, what you could do with this, I like executive tabletops. I like making bosses deal with horrible shit because I'm a pen tester. That's fun stuff. If you deep fake your CEO and then here's a video of the CEO announcing we've been breached and are paying the $4 million ransom as part of a ransomware tabletop, and then you say to all the executives, what do you do about this? Because also you've been breached, and the ransom is $4 million, and you're still deciding what course of action to take.
Yeah,
but now it looks like you've publicly announced that, one, you've been breached, which is true, and also you're paying the ransom. Because just dropping nightmares on executives is super awesome.
When I run executive tabletops, anyone ever done a tabletop? It's kind of like D&D for incident response. So the deal is you go, it's all imaginary, and go, okay, here's a scenario. What do you guys think you should do? And you'll go around, every table is a group, and they come up with the best response plan, and then everyone discusses it. And what I'll do in my tabletops, just to keep things rolling, is I'll have an A, B, C, D of options of what things you can do, and then the team will flesh it out. And one of them is always update your resume, update your LinkedIn. That's definitely the scenario where we've been breached and I'm in charge of security and the CEO said we're paying it. Step one, I'm just on LinkedIn all right, utilized, gray log.
What's Belize like this time? All right, so
look at this idiot.
Yes, awesome. I had some video before of other people. It was pretty good. Now I have some video of myself that is less good, but gives us a good opportunity to talk about some of the technological limitations of AI. This first one is just it's just a video of me talking.
Hackers penetrate and ravage
Talking
delicate
about
public
fucking
and
quotes
privately
from the
owned
movie
computer
Hackers.
systems, infecting them with viruses and stealing materials for their own ends. These people, they are terrorists.
Thanks, FBI agent Richard Gill. Changing it up, I kept my face and used a thing that should change what it looks like my mouth is saying to...
This is our world now. The world of the electron and the switch, the beauty of the baud. We make use of a service already
can laugh at
existing
it.
without paying for what could be dirt cheap if it wasn't run by profiteering gluttons. And you call us criminals. We explore, and you call us criminals. We seek after knowledge.
It's a longer video than I... Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we saw issues with that. There's a cut, facial hair, stuff just on your face. AI currently, and this is a technological limitation, so it's probably going to fucking go away
all
soon.
the AI models, everyone's using one AI facial recognition model, and it looks for the eyes, the nose, and the lips, and then it gauges everything based around that. And so if you have things that hide those parts of your face, like a beard, a mustache, it gets wacky.
Yeah, so kind of blurry, kind of fuzzy. It was my voice. I was actually saying those words both times. I didn't use stuff. Let's change it up. Here's this guy before the end times started.
Famously clean-shaven
This is our
dude.
world now. The world of the electron and the switch. The beauty of the
He's
bond.
talking about some
We
other
make use of
bullshit in
service
real life.
already
I forget
existing
what.
Without paying for what
This
could
is
be
public
very cheap
domain,
if it
so
was run by
I'm not worried about it,
profiteering
but
buttons.
Let the audio sync up.
And you call us criminals. We explore, and you call us criminals.
Still, like, okay.
It's better than the beard, right?
Did not put a lot of work or effort into this.
Yeah, well,
which is
zero.
a weird thing to claim. Like,
Can you play it
this is
again?
lazy bullshit level stuff.
Can you play it again?
Yes.
Take a look. Take a look.
This is our
Knowing
world now. The world
zero
of the
effort,
electron
lazy
and the
bullshit.
switch, the beauty of the bod. We make use of a service already existing without paying for what could be dirt cheap if it wasn't run
Now
by
imagine maybe
profiteering
reducing the
buttons.
resolution, compressing it
And
a
you
bunch.
call us criminals.
If I knew what I was doing and
explore.
actually changed some
And you
settings to
call
make
us
stuff better.
criminals.
Yeah. Now if you take an evening, couple evenings, you can make that look pretty damn good. That was put in a video and some text and click a button. And get a sandwich.
This one, and it's hard to tell because we're both bearded white guys. This is my body, but Johnny's face.
Sorry. It was a bad idea.
So previously, like, we're taking someone's actual face, my face, Obama's face, and like changing what their lips are saying. This is swapping out the complete face. So it's a little bit of a nightmare, but it's Johnny, and it's still my audio.
Hackers penetrate and ravage delicate public
Kinda like
and
merged our
private
beards
computer
together.
systems, infecting them with viruses and stealing materials for their own ends. These people, they are
So I guess
terrorists.
Yeah.
the recommendations against this is everybody just grow a beard.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
yeah,
real.
just
Like
grow
this is
some
serious
beards.
defense. Like I imagine I can see a world where when AI is this big of a threat, that people in positions of power, leadership, executives, people with signing authority for a company or just public facing will grow beards intentionally just to defend against things like this, or wear bandanas or something like.
I mean, that cause. All right, it's going to cause its own problems. It's an arms race for stopping
all those female CEOs just cranking beards out.
Just fucking,
Got to do what you got to do.
all right, these are yours.
Yeah. So what we've got here is I'm a music major. I went to music school. Anyone else?
Oh, don't all raise your hands at once.
Yeah. We can wait. No, there's always a couple, and that's
Okay.
why I asked, and that's fucking cool. So I like to point out that like you think this job is all about thinking outside the box. It's
Definitely.
not about being trained in how processors execute assembly code. And so so Taylor Swift was just like wrapping up her tour, right? And so I said, I wanted to put out a video. I was like, hey, did you know that I like toured for a bit with Taylor Swift a while back? Like, so play the first video.
First one here. All right.
This is the stock video, right? Little guitar solo action.
And this
Of
is the
the,
unedited one, right?
The Jack Tripper Three's Company haircut on this dude. And so when we're done with all this, I'll explain to you why the hell I'm even showing you this. But pretty high quality video here. So now I did I put my face on the guitarist there, my mustache there, right? With same shitty haircut. He didn't have a mohawk. But here I am, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Taylor Swift. I could put this on my music resume. Like, you don't know me? Like, Britney Spears is looking for a guitarist right now. I happen to know. I'm like, oh yeah, I just came off the Taylor Swift tour. Here you go, man. Do you need anything else?
How long did this take you?
Hang on, I'll get to it.
All right.
Yeah. And then while I was doing that, I accidentally flip-flopped some buttons. And the next slide, if you can. Yeah, there's this came out of it, and I felt obliged to give it to you guys. But I accidentally told it I am Taylor Swift, and it's real important to get your grammar correct.
So I thought Johnny's face on my body was bad until I saw Johnny's face.
Yeah,
on
I am
Taylor
pretty
Swift.
leggy. It's plausible, but there's a yeah. Show of hands, Taylor Swift with mustache. Hot or not? Hot?
Oh, yeah.
That's zero hands on that one. Okay. All right. Hey, we don't kink shaming here. All right. So I showed you all that because I wanted to point out a tool. Compared to, like I said, when we brought up the Russian video, and like, hey, it's about 2 years ago, and this was nation-state level attacks coming up with something that's like kind of pretty obviously fake. That video, like the resolution that they put out was the one I showed you there. Like it was like intentionally low res, so that it was easier to hide all of the problems inherent to it. Fast forward 2 years, I did this. I was just on the couch trying to write a report and panicking because Chris was like, hey, did you add any shit to those slides? I was like, fuck, hang on. And I just like did this real quick and then went back to writing my report. Actually, I didn't go back to writing my report because it was done instantaneously. This is the interface of the tool I was using. You can see it's a browser-based. There's a bunch of services running in the background, but it has a fucking web GUI, all right? And it is pointy and clicky. Right? And it is literally, it goes like, drop your source image here, drop your target image or video there. And then it will go through and find faces, and it goes, tell me which face you wanna swap. And I was like, oh, I like the lipsy sticky one. And then I was like, cool, got it. And then it will give you real-time feedback of like, that's what it's gonna look like. Is that what you want? And I saw that and I was like, yeah. And just like, smash that button. And and then I told Chris, I was like, oh yeah, just a heads up, so this is a 31-second video, and it completed doing all of this in a very nice, weird quality in 35 seconds. It's a 35-second video that I did in like 31 seconds. And again, this is with a last generation, mid-range, single GPU. This is within the realm of affordability. It was it's a 3060 Ti. On the used market, those are like $200 now. So for $200, and let me go back to that time. For a 35-second video, I could render this in 31 seconds. What does that mean? That means I can easily render this stuff in real time on cheap hardware, on affordable ass hardware. On one GPU, on a computer, literally on the floor of a closet in my house. And this, I don't want to disparage my family members, but my non-technical family members could absolutely figure this out. That's where we're at with this.
Yeah. There was, and it's my bad, I forget the name of the talk. At DEF CON, there was a talk this year about real-time voice swapping and face swapping. And it's interesting technology. I attended it, and it did it. It was real-time voice swapping and face swapping. But we also saw a very, like the first audio file, the very flat audio. Yeah. Still not tweaking it. The video where you can kind of like, all right, around the edges, the hair is not matching up. Not quite there, but like fucking close to being there.
There's a whole nother half to this screen that has lots of tweaks for that to really try and dial it in. Yeah. And you just dial it and you hit it go again. You dial it and you hit go and you see how it comes out, and it's, yeah.
So I was trying to run this same software on Linux, because I'm like, of course Linux. Oh. And Johnny's like, you fucking idiot.
An idiot runs Linux.
Yeah, there's like a Linux script, and I looked at the Linux script, I'm like, holy, this is a goddamn nightmare. He's like, yeah, you just got to run it on Windows. That's what they're using for this shit. I'm like, oh, god damn it.
Partially because the Tensor and the CUDA drivers are way better on the Windows side, but also like it just works on the Windows side.
Yeah,
which is the weirdest thing I've ever said on a fucking stage.
Windows, it just works.
Yeah, this is where we're at. Things are this easy now, and it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, so you can probably do this at home. I mean, it might take, depending on your hardware, it might take a little bit longer. Can you do it on a laptop?
Well,
how long you got?
Regarding the real-time stuff, about a year ago, maybe 8 months ago, somebody started dropping the real-time stuff, real-time face swapping, and they could export it as a virtual webcam, and you throw it into OBS or Zoom or whatever, and now you're, what were they were doing Elon Musk now. But it was like, you kind of need like an NVIDIA, like you need an RTX 3090 Ti, like you need like the most expensive video card that had been produced, and like it still hiccups on occasion, but it's like pretty good. It's kind of neat. It was like party favor. That software keeps evolving as well. So it's not just a matter of like, oh, well, as hardware gets better, it's gonna, improve. The software is getting improved now that I'm doing it on a 3060, and it looks real good. I'm talking the real-time face swapping. So there's that. And then you combine that with, again, make the quality a little shitty, put it over Zoom, because everything's over like, teleconferencing now. It's super plausible that somebody's video just doesn't look that good. So you pull the Russian crap, and you just, tweak, you'd be like, hey, let's broadcast this at like 480p. And people would just be like, this video sucks, whatever. And you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm on my yacht. This is how Elon Musk talks. Yeah, and it like becomes plausible.
As we mentioned earlier, we don't have real solutions. We got these solutions, which is kind of like, number one, what we're doing right here now. Like we said, we're worried. Now you're worried too, because if two jackasses like us are doing this stuff, then much more malicious jackasses are definitely doing this stuff. Policy, if your organization doesn't have a policy on like using AI, like we at my day job, they came out of policy and like they're like, here's this tool, and that tool is just like a front end for ChatGPT. So I guess our policy is like, kinda use it somewhat, be responsible. That's gonna go great.
Yeah.
Other organizations that we know of have been like, don't fucking use AI. You're probably gonna screw it up, and we're not certain about it.
And we know how far policy goes for stopping people from doing things.
But at least, try to put this in front of the eyeballs of someone who's going to make a decision about this. And as I mentioned, just doing it in a mediagenic kind of way, something that they can't ignore. If you clone an executive's face or voice, they'll love it. And then a bunch of middle management and lawyers will not love it. But who cares about that shit?
That's the funniest part. You clone an executive's voice and face, and they're like,
Yeah, I did this like TV reporters, and they're like, "That's great. I'm sharing it with my wife," and I'm like, "Please don't get me sued by NBC. I do not need that in my life, but enjoy." And then I put testing because I'm a penetration tester, so I always recommend testing because I got bills to pay. So
yeah. And we early on we talked about like, we don't really have any answers to what to do. And the reality is, like, I hope after this talk you can actually think of some things you can do. Some things I thought of are, like, okay, so there's no defense against it. And when you have that scenario where, the CFO called me, and like, you'd at least have to be somebody who's in the position to be like approving invoices and sending money out. I got this call and an email from the CFO. It said, hey, this is going to happen. Do this. That means your company should have some kind of multi-factor solution for even in those emergency cases. Like, okay, if the CFO is unavailable and has said to do something, like two people should have to sign off on any invoices higher than some kind of amount. Like, you should have policies in place that have actions attached to them, not just don't do this or do this. Say like, okay, what if the CFO is not available? Well, then you talk to this person and that person. Or if the CFO said, hey, approve this, well, it's over this amount. So I know I also have to go to, I don't know, the CEO, the CIO is the secondary approver for that. Or, if somebody's unavailable. Or if like I got a voicemail, should say, all right, call them back and verify. Well, they're on a plane, they're unavailable. Okay, who's the secondary approver? Call that person. Like you should, this causes you to generate policy, and all policy should be actionable. No policy should just be like, don't do this, don't do that. Even just like internet, acceptable use policies are like the worst example of that. Like, don't go to porn sites. Well, what happens when someone goes to a porn site? Do you have a corporate policy for responding to that? Most don't.
There are a couple of products out there and listed in the references section as far as like trying to detect AI stuff. We didn't really talk about them because I took a look at them. I'm like, that's a solid effort, but not quite there yet. That is pretty much that. We got you started with some QA questions. We got like 14 seconds left for actual questions, or we'll be standing around for quite a while.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Well, did I think I put one more in there? Because
No, there's the resources.
Oh, I thought it was. Never mind.
Did you have a? We can
I
do
had
a
I had
slide.
like a feel good slide I put in there. I thought, but never mind.
No, nobody's feeling
I
good.
forgot it. So like in the spite of all of this, we don't want to disparage AI and say that like it's a nightmare and you should run from it. Like this AI has the potential and is already like proving the potential for becoming like the greatest thing to happen to technology since the internet. Is the last huge, massive leap forward. Do use it responsibly. Use it for your job. The best thing AI has done for us is, like, first off, it's in its infancy. It sucks. It's not good at most things. What it's solid for is doing grunt work, doing the parts of your job that really annoy you, that aren't fun, and it's always those first few steps. When you're starting to write code, when you're starting to write a report, have it lay that foundation so that you can then dive into it and start tweaking it and modifying it, and massaging it and making it better. But you didn't have to waste an entire day going, oh my God, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And then it's 9 at night and you're like, fuck, I was supposed to have like a draft in today. And now you're up till 3 a.m. writing a draft because you put it off all day because you didn't want to do this garbage work. Try having the AI do the garbage work, and then you go in and fix the garbage work that it generated, which is once you have that start, I think it's a huge boon for those who are struggling with ADD, when you have that problem with the motivation of getting started on something you know is going to suck for a little bit. We have a tool for that now. Don't be afraid of it. And the more we use it and the more we critique it, the better it's going to get. It's not going to become a singularity and kill us. The reality is what it's going to do is it's going to, they're using...
What are you going to do if it does? I mean, whatever.
Well, then I'm
They're
dead.
not
What the
gonna come
fuck do
after
I
you.
care?
Right.
It's going to suck up all the water from the crops in Iowa where Microsoft has all the GPUs, and that's what's happening right now. So really it's going to kill us by killing all the food that we need because there's no water left to
And
water
you
the
wanted to
corn.
have a feel-good
But-
slide at the end. And this
Yeah.
is, all right, cool. That's our time, all of it, and plus a little bit of someone else's time. Nobody go anywhere because there's another talk up right after us. It looks pretty baller, so hang out and
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you
it's
for coming to our talk.
Yeah, thanks guys.